Got a couple of minutes to spare this morning. I'm going to go to the Pleasant Green parking lot for the Eno Park. It's right before you hit the bridge. This is where you'd park for one end of the Mountains to Sea trail. Alright, I am now a couple hundred yards north of that parking lot for the Eno River, right on the river. Bushwack a little bit up to the north from there. You go over an old road. You can still see some remnants of steps that went into some old houses. A little bit further north is this railroad cut. Pretty deep cut. Railroad lines are still down there. Heads off to an area out there, which I'll show you in a little bit. I suspect was used to load stuff into railroad cars because there's a height advantage off on the other side. A little bit off in the woods over there is another railroad spur up high that was used to bring the coal in and dump the coal near the coal-fired power plant. It's a steam power plant. Get pictures of that in a little bit. And right off in the woods in that direction, you'll see it in a few minutes, is the there's an old 1949 Chevrolet up on its top. It's been abandoned there since then. Here's a little better shot of that training field. If you go walk to the old cooling pond, the trail is on the far fence line over there, and you're looking through the fence in this direction, seeing that field. So a little bit of bushwhacking in this direction and walk around this fence line, and you'll get to a cut in the fence line that goes down into the heart of the old plant. This is a good view of that approach cut for the railroad spur that went low. You can see off to the left of the trail of the tracks. Looks like there used to be a little landing platform there. I suspect up here there's some fence line you can hardly see, but up there I believe is where they probably staged outgoing stuff and debris and trash to dump into the cars that came down here. Off in that direction up high is another track, which I'll get to in a minute. And this is an open field that has a concrete slab on it, so there's nothing growing there. Same shot from only about 30-40 feet away at the edge of this clearing. Used to be a building here on the old, I think it's a 1939 aerial, shows a building here. What you see up top there is the railroad trestle, which abruptly ends up above that concrete abutment. But it used to go on out further, and the coal cars would just drop their coal right underneath the tracks, and then it was bulldozed away. So this big square imprint here, you dig down only a couple inches and you're at concrete slab. Alright, we're now up on that high side. Here's the upper rail. Heads off in this direction to dump the coal, which I got a back pocket full of right now. And right off that is a 1949 Chevy two-door Streamline, I believe they call it. I already know that because I looked it up this morning. Heads off to Pleasant Green Road in that direction. And I got a souvenir railroad spike. Pretty good size pines growing up out of the middle of that. they're probably 30 years old or more. But I believe this has been abandoned since the 50s, so they may be older than that. So the loaded railroad cars full of coal would have come up here. You can see we're up pretty high now from the training field down below. And the, can't see it, but the ditch for the other railroad line is down there. It's where they used to, I'm assuming, drop off stuff back in the cars. They kept this up high, and it stops here, but it used to go, according to the old pictures that I've seen, I see some 1939 aerials that show this railroad track going way off in that direction. And the pictures show everything off in that side all the way to the cooling pond as piles of coal. And that's where I picked up some big chunks of coal in there, so that's probably right. You can see some bridge abutments down there for the elevated track. Heads off in that direction back to Pleasant Green. And then not far away is the cooling pond for the old Southern Power coal plant. And Duke Power now owns it. They still operate transformer sites over there. There's the old cooling pond. They still got some houses over there that used to be owned, inhabited by the superintendents and the managers of the plant back in the 10s and 20s.